have an interesting RC car.
What is it?
I don't know.
Rlaarlo.
A Rlaarlo.
That's good. They are a new company, and they themselves have been tearing up the dirt, entering the industry pretty strongly. They've come out with a few different cars already, racing buggies, kids or beginners monster trucks. Now they've got what looks like more of an intermediate basher truck or something like that. I'm talking bashing like ramps and stuff. Not a whole lot of information on the box. Yes, I know it looks like a Creighton. Otherwise, let's break this thing open. Okay, well, that is a cool looking truck. Already noticing some things that I can't wait to show you. There's your wing. All these things that come with it. An accessory kit. I've never seen an out-of-the-box car come with some of this stuff. Look. Extra control arms, a complete set, front and rear, along with hinge pins, bushings, and nuts. One of the biggest batteries I've ever gotten in a 14th scale or smaller car. A lot of times I'll even show the performance of a vehicle with a second battery like this one because it's got a higher milliamp hour rating and a higher discharge rating, but really the battery this comes with, I just showed you, is pretty comparable. Of course, comes with a charger, extra wheel hexes, and little red adapter things that you see here in the wheel. Body clips, screwdriver, and wheel wrench. 3 sheets of stickers. That's amazing. Whoa, I didn't even see these. Extra axles. Seriously, that is awesome. And the owner's manual shows you exploded parts diagrams on how everything goes together. And then the names of all the parts. For example, the slow down large tooth assembly. I would just call that a spur gear. A wave box component. Now, this is my first Rlaarlo vehicle, but I've been following them on Facebook, and they've been very responsive to people's questions. That's really good sign for customer service. The controller does seem a little bit toyish, but I have yet to have any real trouble with a controller that came with a car in a box, so I'm not too worried about it. If it performs well, I'll be happy. Comes with a label for beginners to read. So with all the boring stuff out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and look at the good stuff. There's this warning label. You guessed it, maybe, if you did. It looks very similar to the WL Toys 144001 and close to this one that we just reviewed, 144010, which is the brushless version. Besides the electrical, there's a tiny difference between these two. However, I actually see some big differences between these and this one. Now, I'm gonna show you. I actually had planned on turning this WL Toys here into a bashing vehicle instead of a buggy, especially since we've got this one now. But Rlaarlo has done that for me. They've got a much stronger bumper on it that actually will protect the wheels and the control arms and the suspension a bit more. They got a heat sink on the motor, which is very important because this one gets blazing hot. And that's good, they're learning from our feedback. It has a pretty weak rear bumper, but it also comes with the wing, and that has a built-in wheelie bar, so that mounting right here will help protect the rear as well, most likely by sacrificing this after enough bad hits. On these buggies, the chassis brace is a very thin plastic, and the ESCs are actually glued onto them, and you can see how much that plastic flexes with no real support underneath. This newer brushless one is actually even worse. It has all kinds of flex to it, so really that's not doing much except providing support for the ESC. On this one, there is very little wigglage, and if you look underneath it, it actually has a much thicker support system there, and it has a little blocker to protect the battery from the drive shaft. I think Rlaarlo's doing things. I'm liking these upgrades that I'm seeing so far. We're gonna be taking it outside for a minute for a really good test drive, and then in just a couple days, I'm gonna have a 3S video on it because this is 3S capable as well. And of course, since it's a monster truck, they had to put much bigger tires on it. That's gonna increase the speed. Not sure if it has the same gearing or not as these WLs do because these things are insanely fast, but looks like it might be the exact same motor. This one's got a little more shine to it, but it's brand new. This one's probably overheated several times. Now that large motor and the size of these tires and the fact that I haven't mentioned yet that it has a metal chassis and it's a more of a gunmetal gray, which is awesome because this is just, you know, boring brass or something. That adds to a lot of weight especially low end weight, that really helps with handling. Similar to the Creighton, it's got the metal chassis on the bottom and it's got the wide stance like this one does, and that really helps with keeping the tires planted on the ground. This has completely adjustable links from your upper arms and your tie rods all the way over here to your steering arm linkage, upper arms in the rear too. Fully metal shock bodies, but you do have plastic eyelets up top still. Now, like this new WL toys, but unlike the old version, it has captured control arm hinge pins, which means the screw, the long screw that holds the control arm in, goes all the way through just like a pin. And then on the other side of it, it's hard to see because it's all black, but there is a nut on the other side of it that helps hold it all together. I'm checking the flexibility of the control arm on this new version of the WL toys, and then checking it against this one. And this one seems to flex easier. If that's true, that's a good thing, because what happens is if you get into a crash, say like this, that allows that control arm to bend a lot further than this one would before it breaks. And then the thing about plastic is it pops back into its original shape if it's of decent quality. Plus, this new Rlaarlo actually has part numbers cast into the plastic, while the WL Toys one does not. This could be a completely different compound of plastic, hopefully improving its durability, being that these are made for speed and this is made for bashing differently. And then, if it wasn't already awesome, they added LEDs to the front.
So thank you, Rlaarlo, for that.
Now, I have been told that these still don't have grease in the differentials, which is a WL Toys problem. Don't know why they do that. This one, I took it apart in my review video, and there was grease on the pinion and spur gear directly under here, but I did not take the actual differential apart to check. Now, I just noticed something else. This has a locked rear differential. The rear wheels move in the same direction at the same time, while an actual differential will turn the wheels in the opposite direction. I'm excited to see how that's going to feel, because I haven't ever had one like that. Even the regular WL toys have actual differentials. Maybe it's a defect. I don't know. I'm interested to see how that's going to work, because the thing about that is it's going to give both rear wheels the same amount of traction instead of potentially only turning one, and it'll help it take off better. So yeah, that'll be exciting to see. So we're gonna go ahead and take her out. Obviously, we've got to put the wing on there,
Put the body on.
get the stickers on there. Good thing we got more. Oh, and of course you do have to supply your own batteries for the controller. Double A's.
That thing handled the grass like a champ. It definitely does have a different feel to it as far as handling goes. Definitely not bad. I like it. I think it has to do with that locked rear diff. Has good handling. Get this speed test going. This is the slowest satellite binding GPS ever. $19.8. I feel like it's going faster than that. 23.2. All right, that's a little better. That sounds about right. Here it is, 23.2. That's just 2S. Oh yeah. No! Oh, that. Yes! Barely. What'd you think of that? Backflip? Does it do one? No. But I bet it'll front flip. Oh, had a joint pop off. So it could definitely use some sort of improvement on keeping these joints intact. That happened to the WL Toys once or twice too, especially in the rear when it causes the axles to pop out and easily get lost if you're in the grass. Luckily they pop back in real easy. the axle broke. Little field surgery here. It was actually one of the front CVD axles. I think I've heard that they have updated axles for this, so I'll have to get some, I guess. Back in action. Ooh, ow. I've been working on getting a perfect power slide. I'm getting there. Oh, there's battery. The motor is quite hot, but definitely not as hot as the old WL toys with the brushed motor got, because that heat sink is on there. That helps a lot. Well, that didn't do too bad. First thing is, the rear differential is no longer locked up. So for whatever reason, it was just really tight. It's moving real easy now. And yes, I am pretty sure that these control arms are a lot more flexible than what they put on the WL Toys models. It might be hard to tell on camera, but there is definitely a different texture to the plastics. So I think that the Rlaarlos are actually using a higher quality, more flexible, less breakable plastic. 23 miles per hour is definitely not a bad out-of-the-box speed, especially for a brushed car in this price range. I'm looking forward to the speed we get on 3S. I'm also looking forward to see if the motor can handle it. I didn't show this earlier, but you can adjust the shocks. I like the handling of it. I do think that these tires work well with this car. Handled its jumps quite nicely. It didn't have a bad rebound bounce because these oil-filled shocks work quite well. Once or twice we had this little arm here pop off of its ball stud. Just like that. It does push back on pretty easily. The only problem is these rear axles can come out and get lost if that happens. But that did only happen from heavy impact. And we broke that front axle, so it was great that this car actually came with new axles in the box. However, we ended up breaking that one too. Also, I have just confirmed that they are currently producing stronger axles to put in here, so that should not be a problem for much longer. Plus, no damage to the body shell. This is a pretty awesome car. And right now, they actually have a pretty good coupon on Amazon, but there will be a link to this product page directly to Amazon in the description of this video and that video, so you have easy access to it. Hopefully you like the car. I think that Rlaarlo is doing things the way that we really want them to do, and they're learning as they go, and we're teaching them. So keep putting in your feedback, and these products will continue to improve.